I'm Nicole Chang from UVA. I'm here with Henry Hull, the Historic Preservation Project Coordinator, and he will be showing us the most recent updates of Alderman Library. Are you ready to start?
Yes, let's go.
Since its closing in 2020, about 3/4 of UVA's undergraduates have never stepped foot in Alderman Library. We spoke to John Unsworth, Dean of Libraries, who explained to us why it was necessary for aldermen to go through the restoration process.
Major systems in the building were failing. The electrical systems were a nightmare. The last several months we had no water in the east wing of the building because the water main had failed catastrophically. The heat wasn't working well, so everything was at or beyond end of life, and there were some significant life safety issues with the building.
During the tour, Henry Hull explained to us that only one side of the library was demolished, while the other side remained intact to preserve the historical elements of the building.
This is the architectural model that we have of the building. On the south side, which is where my hand is the building looks like it's 2 stories, but it's actually a 5-story building here. This part is all 1937. In 1966, this wing was added to the north. We've removed everything here in yellow and built this building into its footprint. You can see that we've installed a new east wing bump out that includes a cafe, and then we've also added clear story to the roof as well as a skylight above the central stair. We've also included a much more inviting north side with 2 main entrances on the 2nd floor.
Some of the main features from the original library will be in the restored version. For example, the McGregor Room, also known as the Harry Potter Room, which we are standing in right now. Could you tell us a little bit more about the history of this room and the new features that'll be included?
Sure. The McGregor Room is one of our most cherished rooms at Alderman Library. It was actually the first renovation of the library. The library was finished in 1937. In 1938, the Tracy McGregor collection came to the library. So with that came all of the walnut floors and the walnut millwork that surrounds this room. We actually had to remove about half of that millwork for structural upgrades along the west side of the room. Where we restored the existing part in place on the east side. All the millwork's coming back the way it was, the floor's being refinished, and we've installed a new ceiling throughout the McGregor Room as well, and we're also keeping a lot of the furniture that came out of the McGregor Room.
Other restored rooms include the East Reading Room, the Asian Studies Room, and Memorial Hall, the public entrance to Alderman Library since the 1930s. So, what are the newly added features?
It will have a new entrance on the north side of the building, and that whole back of the building will be full of windows, whereas before it was, a brick box. There will be books throughout the building, except the 2nd floor, but the 2nd floor will have Rare Book School, our Conservation and Preservation Lab, and other programming that's focused on the physical books. And a lovely 2-story reading room on the north side of the building that's, I think, going to be very popular. And there'll be things like the study courts in the middle of the building, which will be glassed over like a greenhouse, and there'll be indoor space. There'll be 2 of them on either side of the bridge that goes from the front to the back of the building. But the goal in the project was to maintain the character of the building while making it safer, more accessible, more sustainable, and I hope more welcoming too, because not everybody feels at home in an austere academic building. And we really do want everybody to feel like that's their library. So in terms of what we do on the inside, we'll be bringing more art into the library. We'll be creating different kinds of spaces in the library so people have some choice about the environment in which they want to read and study.
Alderman Library is expected to be reopened to the public at the beginning of 2024. These renovations will restore the main library as a contemporary space with modern amenities for the needs of its visitors and its students. I'm Nicole Chang from UVA.